A group of detectives gather in a conference room as they close in on a suspect that they have been after for the past 3 years. This suspect, who they have dubbed the named JB, had managed to escape their grasp multiple times while out on their crime spree. JB had managed to break into multiple museums and steal their most valuable items, specifically those from the Chinese exhibits. After noticing these clues, the detectives, led by a man named David, managed to narrow down the list of potential suspects.
Here it is,
David proudly said to his co-workers.
This is the prime suspect's location, who we believe to be behind this slew of crimes.
You're a genius,
Another detective named Greg replied. The detectives decided that the best approach would be to stake out at the suspect's house, and to swoop in when they encounter something suspicious happening. Time passed, and soon enough, it had been 3 days.
This man is very persistent.
Greg says to David.
Could it be that we have the wrong guy?
Just as Greg manages to get those words out, the group watches, as to their astonishment, the suspect hops into a van with blacked-out windows. The group decides to follow the van in 3 separate vehicles, 2 with detectives in them, and another filled with members of a SWAT team. After a while of following the van, the group watches as it seemingly vanishes at the intersection. Confused at how this could have happened, the group splits up to see if they could find traces of the van. Just a few blocks down, one of the cars with detectives would find a van, just like the one they were following. It was parked on the outside of a warehouse. Convinced that this was the right place, the group waited for backup, and they all proceeded to go in, guns drawn. When inside, they announced their presence, and heard a group of men talking in one of the back offices. Quickly, the SWAT team, followed by the detectives, went up to the door, slamming it open. Immediately, the SWAT team went up to the men to subdue them, barking orders for them to get on the ground. One of the men refused to get down, and instead decided to defy the orders. He was immediately neutralized by the SWAT team, left bleeding out. It was then when the detectives went inside, finding out that they got the wrong people. Inside was nothing but the Chin triplets, a group of philanthropists, who would often donate to the poor. The one who was killed was their eldest, Wu Tingchen, who was known to have 0 English comprehension, while also being deaf. It was at this moment that the group heard tires screeching outside.
That must be JB,
David whispered to the group. The team, not caring for the triplets, left them there, not even bothering to untie them. They left to pursue what they believed to be the true suspect. To ensure that they weren't after the wrong person, they requested to see the surveillance video from the afternoon. To their surprise, a team of producers working for a TV series called See No Evil happened to be there, and were also requesting a copy of the footage. The team made their way to the producers to ask what was going on. This was what their leading producer had to say.
We are working on what we believe to be the biggest case on our show. This criminal is not only a serial killer, but also a lover of Chinese art.
Gasping, the detectives realized that the producers were also after JB.
Do you know who he is?
David asked.
Yes, and the answer will shock you.
The producer replied.
You might know the killer, as he is a person often infatuated with crime and death.
We weren't aware that JB is also a killer,
David responded.
Well, he is, and you got the name wrong. He might go by JB, but his real identity is JBA.
The team of detectives became confused as such a revelation suddenly appeared before them. The group decides to work together with the See No Evil producers as they scour the footage. The van could be seen leaving the highway and heading towards Quincy, Massachusetts. In a hurry, the groups left to pursue the new revelation. By now, there were 4 vehicles including the See No Evil van. In Quincy, the group finally arrives at the house seen in the footage to capture the infamous JBA. They kicked open the doors, and inside, the SWAT team found this. The inside of the house was neat, with nothing standing out besides a YouTube play button and some Chinese paintings and vases proudly displayed on some shelves. With one room left to clear, they opened the door to see a man, JBA, in front of a camera with a green screen behind him. That's right. JBA was revealed to be John B. Allen, also known as Mr. Ballin. Being a Navy SEAL had its toll on him, and he found that the only way to attain peace was looking at Chinese artifacts and killing people, just like in the stories he told. At that moment, John became aggressive, taunting the detectives.
Boy, do I have something strange, dark, and mysterious for you.
John spouted.
What I will do next will shock you. Your prisons can never stop me. I have an insatiable thirst for violence, and mark my words, I will get what I want.
With this, the case is closed, and John is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. David is promoted and spends his free time fishing with his best friend Frank. The end.
What about us? We still tied up? At least give us some chicken fried rice.
When the like button is comfortable and laying down on its bed, be sure to turn the lights on to make them have to get up again.